Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight we have a lot to talk about once again. The Financial Freedom Network is not over. We have to keep going. Everything keeps moving forward and it's costing people more money. Well, it's worse. The tax reform is worse than you thought, ladies and gentlemen, investors, business owners, and citizens of the Dominican Republic. No matter what you are, a resident, expat, visitor, you are going to be impacted according to this tax reform bill. And wait till you hear this news. I have a lot more to talk about, so please stay tuned. And of course, we have to talk about investor strategy session here tonight. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos. Why? Because the YouTube gods show us no love. And tonight, if you can't get in the chat room, there's a reason why. Only members of the channel can be in the chat room on Wednesday nights. The Wednesday night live stream anywhere around the world, because things are going to change. Because when America catches a cold, the rest of the world is sneezing, ladies and gentlemen. So keep that in mind. If there's anything that goes haywire, such as high interest rates, that is crazy. The Federal Reserve I'm talking about. That means the rest of the world will have higher interest rates. If the USA has lower interest rates, then the rest of the world will start lowering their interest rates. So therefore, the whole world booms at the same time. Now, let's get into it tonight, shall we? Because a lot of people have invested. We have over 50 people here in the SSN Nation who have invested on the island of the Dominican Republic. We have over 50 people here who did not all take my advice. What do I mean by all take my advice? Let me explain. If you're going to be out here, because this is the investment strategy session as well, if you're going to be out here buying any real estate, what do they tell you? The gospel. Location, location, location is number one. Number two, if you're doing short-term rentals versus living in the property, then it's going to be amenities, amenities, amenities. You need to know next where, if this place has amenities. If you decide to buy a place that's in a great location and all they have is a pool and a view of a golf course, congratulations. You bought in a nice place that has a pool and a golf course. But the fact of the matter is, how's that going to play out when you overpay for a project that has a pool and does not have a golf course that costs half the price, but still has the same condo and pool or townhouse and pool? Explain how they can charge less than you and still make a profit where you have to maintain a higher price. This is the investment strategy session tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got Victor Marrero in the house, a retiree, Mr. Worldwide, trying to get on that list. He will be on that list shortly because his retirement was planned. He made the financial commitment. And welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night live stream with that icon next to your name, which I humbly appreciate. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's right. With his help, my help, and a whole bunch of other people's help. Stay tuned. Get your pen, pads, and papers ready because the investment strategy session begins as I've just started with regard to real estate. And he's a real estate investor. And so is Paul Castillo, another real estate investor here in the Dominican Republic. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with that icon I humbly appreciate next to your name. Thank you so much for that. And he says, good evening, SSN family. Good evening to you, Paul Castillo, as well. Let me know. We have Victor Morrell here. We talked about this on Monday. We have Paul Castillo in the house tonight. Let me know what you think, because we talked about this tax reform, but there's some certain things that what we talked about on Monday, we didn't know about. I am going to drop a video over the last 2 days, and I started really going back through some files, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be worse. This isn't something that people even can prepare for in reality. The government has been bamboozling us. That's right. All the investors on the island. We've been buying property thinking, oh, this is great. We have Comfort Tour. This is great. Oh, yes, we have all these advantages. The developer, we know they have advantages. And therefore, this price point works out great for us. We know our HOAs are going to be whatever they put in the contract, $2 per square meter. But we all know now that is not possible. Well, maybe you don't know now. But in case you are investing in Dominican Republic, for just forget about your HOA. It's not going to be no damn $2 per square meter if this tax reform bill passes. That's not the actual worst news. So, good evening, SSN Familia, once again. And hopefully you're doing great, Paul Castillo. No effects from that hurricane situation. And Victor Morrell as well. Hopefully no after effects from that hurricane situation. All right, now let's get into it, shall we? Because this is something that blew me away, because I did not realize the status of this tax reform. This is why it's worse. I'm about to show you right here when it comes up. This is why I'm going to say worse. Because look at here. Look at what this says. President Abinader submits tax reform bill to the National Congress. I did not realize that this was already in Congress. And then, I don't know how I missed it, August 19th, 2024. It's already been almost 2 months in the National Congress. It was under the radar for the last 5 years. Why do I keep saying 5 years? Now, why do I say 5 years? It's because they have been working on this for the last 5 years, since 2019. Behind the scenes, quietly putting together some things. Meanwhile, nobody's talked about it at all. And then all of a sudden in September, October, surprise, all of a sudden it's what tax reform? What are these guys talking about? This is crazy. Look, President Louis Abinader has submitted a bill to National Congress declaring the meaning of the National Revisory Assembly. This is insane. All right. The reform has 4 main objectives: ensuring the stability of presidential election rules by preventing future modifications, strengthening the constitutional autonomy of the public ministry and specializing its functions. Wow. Unifying the timing of presidential, congressional, municipal, and other elective representative elections. Again, I don't understand. What's this got to do with money? Come on. 4, adjusting the number of representatives of the Chamber of Deputies. Again, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? This is crazy. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, what you may not know. Abinader in this Congress, he literally controls it. So when I was speaking on Monday saying, oh my God, I hope they don't pass this for another year or whatever, I'm like, wait, these guys could actually pass this damn thing. This is why this is insane. And then I wish I had these in order, but I don't. Then I have to show you something else, because I was just like shocked. I was shocked by what I found. Can you believe this? They said they may implement this in 2025. I know. Is that crazy or what? I don't have it up, but that's what they're talking about. And I could not believe it. I could not believe it at all. And so when you realize this, here it is right here. Let me pull this up. You guys are like, I was just in shock by this. I was just like, this is craziness. Hopefully this comes online sometime soon. But if it doesn't, it'll sit there for a second. But all I'm trying to say, this is wild, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Victor Marrero, he says Airbnb launched a new feature today called the co-host, where a successful host can offer to manage your property for a fee. This means you can hire co-host instead of a management company. Okay, but you're still going to need a management company, or you're going to be paying a fee, is what I'm saying. I haven't looked at that at all. I wasn't even on Airbnb today. Let me, I'll have to check it out, Victor Morel. What do you understand? Does that mean the co-host is a management company, or the co-host is just so he's handling your account and the management company is separate? Let me know what you think it means. All right. Because that would be very, very interesting. I'm waiting to find out about that. And I see I can't pull this up. All right. Well, you're just going to have to take my word for it. Anyhow, watch the late. I'll be dropping the video tomorrow, so I'll have it in there. But the point I'm trying to make is this is why it's worse. They could implement this damn thing in January of 2025. Because of the way Abinator and the Congress is structured, they could pass this right through. So we're over here sleeping. And here's the thing. Everybody who purchased in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, and maybe even early 2023, that's probably the border is what I'm looking at. But again, it's very vital that you paid less and you got more as far as amenities. If you went down here and did what a lot of people did, they said, I'm going to buy that $79,000, $89,000 one bedroom in Los Corrales at Coral Village, at Paseo del Sendero or Paseo del Mar, or any of these other. I bought a 2-bedroom for $88,000 at El Dorado condos, which are now in the hundreds and 130,000. If you bought in this price range, you're at least going to be able to withstand some of this. But if you went outside of the recommended 0 to 250K and you bought something for 250K and it's a pool, again, I use this example, a pool overlooking a golf course, and that's it, and a fitness room, just because it's in a nice neighborhood may not work, because if they come through with this some ridiculous number, 18% plus, 19% plus, we're going to have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. Or shall I say, you're going to have a problem. And I'm going to keep going. Let me see if I can get some of these on the screen. There we go. I showed this on Monday. 3 out of every $10 of the American Republic's foreign exchange earnings, all right, to the tourist sector. This is very major because, again, this is showing the amount of people that is being affected by dollars. 30% of the tourist numbers and more, because this is just at the exchange. This isn't actually anything else. So just keep all of that in mind. Now, I want to show you this, though, because this is very interesting. Nah, not that one. I'll do a different one. Let me see if I can come up with something else, because there's a lot of people, and I don't even want to keep going down the list. But if we start doing this and looking through the list, look at this right here. Look at this. Sergio Carlos. This is October 15th. This is yesterday. This is when they dropped. This is like everybody found out in the last 7 days. Sergio Carlos criticizes tax reform and government corruption in Dominican Republic. All right. He criticized it exactly. They're going to put burden on the Dominicans, citizens. And what they did was the previous weeks, they used the Haitian roundup as a way to try to make this information go away, and it did. That Haitian roundup stuff they started 2 weeks ago, mummed out, and then all of a sudden this came out and people started going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody's like, wait, what tax reform? How long you guys been working on this? And come to find out, 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. So Carlos acknowledged the need for tax reform, but criticized the government for excessive borrowing without meaningful improvements in critical sectors. This is what I was talking about. The same thing he's talking about. How are you doing all this development and don't do infrastructure? But then you come up with a tax bill. And now you're going to burden the Dominicans and everybody on the island that lives there and people who are visiting. I agree with this 110%. This is how it's rolling, ladies and gentlemen. He's not the only one. This just keeps going. I'm going to be talking about this on a video because I'm trying not to waste so much time on this. But look, tax reform proposal threatens unsustainable rise in housing prices. Again, this is October 14th. Again, more people going, hold on a minute. And all you guys, when you guys were sitting there not using an attorney, this comes back to haunt you. See, this is why you have to have an attorney when you make your contract, because a lot of people sign contracts and they didn't pay any attention to what they would have to pay later. So now they come back to you and do something crazy like, oh, hey, you know what? It cost us 10% more now. And because it costs 10% more, and then that cost us 10% more on the materials of the building, we have to charge you 20% more now. I'm sorry. And now you're going to have to come up with 20% more, whether they put it into your monthly payments or however they do it. But the point of the matter is 20% more on 100,000 is 20,000. 20% more on 200,000 is 40 grand. So now you can see this puts you in more danger because some of you didn't get contracts that said, hey, I have a cap, or I have, if you cover 3%, then I'll have a cap up to 15 or whatever the case may be. But you who don't have anything talking about how much extra it can cost you, you could be in danger of some ridiculous numbers if they still have not even built your unit yet. Imagine people right now, if they implement this tax thing in 2025 in January, the prices of everything's going up. And I mean everything. All right. So this is that Acra Provi, almost like a Latin name. But again, the sector fears that rental prices will surge due to reduced housing supply and increased costs for property owners. Exactly, the rent's going to go higher because you're going to have to be paying for now real estate taxes that previously you might not have had to pay for. You're going to have to be paying, if you're doing short-term rentals, you might have the tax that you're going to have to pay, 18%. Could be like restaurants. All of a sudden, everything costs a lot more. It's not sustainable. Your HOA is not going to be $2 a square meter. All right. There's already some people finding this out before this news even came out. There's people who had a villa in a project and they were paying like $100 per month for their little small villa. The company or HOA, well, I'll put it this way. The project is not completed yet, so the HOA is by the development. Developers assigned it to another party. The other party, 150% increase. $100 is now $250 a month. And if you don't pay it, guess what's going to happen? Something. Yes, so you're like locked. Again, this is the situations that's going down on the island, and now you're going to have additional pet taxes. I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, this is not good. Not good at all. All right, hold on. I see I missed some things. Unlike the USA, where there's political differences, in the DR, president has a lot of power, and most likely this tax reform may pass. We're definitely going to be hurt. Exactly, Paul Castillo. But again, you're one of the people that was listening to the SSN Nation strategy sessions. You purchased every property that you own, the two that you own. One of them has a no increase clause, which is very interesting. I don't know how they're going to be able to handle that. But the other one, you have a 3.5, I believe, percent that as long as the prices, once the prices go over 3.5%, with the inflation or material costs, that's when you pay the difference between after 3.5 and if it goes up to 10, then you'll have a 7% or 6.5%. So, and you bought at the lower price. So you will be able to be sustainable, where if they came in and said 20 grand more, or it ended up costing you 20 grand more, you're still going to be well within where you'll be making money. That's the difference. So again, that's the differences that we're going to have. Everybody's going to be hurt because there's no way you can't walk around under this proposal. Basically, you and the co-host agree on a per booking fee. She will manage your property for you, from marketing, receiving guests, cleaning, checkout. That means we save 25 to 30% management fee. Okay. Yeah, it does, but it all depends on what their fee is. Because something tells me their fee is going to be 20, 25%. That's what I'm thinking. But I find it very interesting that they're going to be co-host. So, and they're going to be on your account. So that means they don't have a separate account, meaning, here's what I mean by this. What if they do a sorry ass job? So now, because it's under your account and you hired them, the person leaves a bad review because you are the main account. Or are they going to have their own separate account? So when I call the people, or when the people call me and may have an issue or send me a text, and I say, hey, you got to see the managers about that, and the manager's handling it, they are going to be left their own separate review because they're basically managing the property. So I hope there's some sort of distinction, because you know what's going to happen. A lot of people are going to be coming on board in the DR saying, hey, I'll be a co-host for you. I'll be a co-host for you, and tout, oh, we managed for X amount of years. Here's our company name, and it's all BS. So you got to be careful. In the DR, let's just put it this way. If these tax rules come into play or not, there's a lot of BS. All right. So you're going to have to double check, triple check, get several people to vouch for them, customer wise. You're going to have to do the whole gamut. You can't trust somebody saying we've been in business for 10 years. Here's my company name. You can't do that over there. All right. You're going to have to double check, triple check. Like I say, I want pictures of you, whoever's on your team. I want everything. So when I come over there and see you, we know what you're looking like, because that's what you have to operate over there on that front right now. But that's going to be very interesting. Thank you very much, Victor Marrero. Jaway J, another real estate investor, is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with that icon next to your name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says his tagline, hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Received notification, saw the trailer, and he smashed that like button, doing the trifecta that I love. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And Jaway J is another real estate investor in the Dominican Republic. He's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The home of the DR investors is here. Paul Castillo. There's definitely a lot of government corruption in the DR, and the money that this tax reform will create, I don't think it'll be used for what it's supposed to be used for. I agree. The reason why I agree is because over the last, like I've been bitching about the last 5 years, that even with the amount of taxes or tax evasion, as they call it, even whatever money's coming to the coffers, they have not done anything with infrastructure. I want to point out something that a lot of people don't realize in the state of Nevada. State of Nevada, no taxes, right? For citizens on a state tax, annual state tax. Does anybody know how much in tax a casino generally pays that's on the strip? This will blow you away. This reminds me of where the tax money should be coming from. Should be coming from them all-inclusive resorts that have 1,000 rooms, that you gave a gratis to give 400 rooms to, 2,000 rooms to. Basically, covering up your ocean front property, giving all these guys all kind of leeways to run septic systems out back, messing up the neighborhood with waste, or even if it's not really waste, it is waste because it smells. So therefore, They're the ones that should be like a casino. And here's the answer: try $20 million a year in tax for each casino on the strip. How many's out there? 15, 20, 30? Start thinking, ladies and gentlemen, is that like $500 million every year just on the strip? Never mind the ones that are in Green Valley, Durango, the M, across another way, Paradise. I mean, what are we talking about here? They're the guys that's making all the money. There's the guys that's charging for rooms. There's the guys that got all these exceptions, tax cut, tax breaks, confiture. So why aren't you taxing them instead of trying to go after all the money from everybody, especially citizens on the island and tourists? They're going to pay for the customer there. So your mom and pop businesses, do I have to give somebody a tax strategy for their damn country? You have people that have mom and pop businesses on your island, basically starting from scratch. You don't really have too many franchises there. So everybody's taking a risk. They're the ones that should be getting a break. So then when tourists come in, which is your job, government, to bring tourists in, then those people benefit, not getting taxed a freaking another 20% to 30% on their cost that's going to cost them money and put them out of business. You should be helping everybody. But instead, you want to cater to the freaking 50 or 60 hotels, all-inclusive hotels you're going to put around the island, or 100 of them. Meanwhile, you're going to have thousands of mom and pop businesses for the tourists to go and enjoy. But you're going to tax them the same as you're going to tax a hotel. Come on. This is craziness right now. It's disgusting, and I'm pissed, quite frankly, because here it is. This is oppressors' move that they're doing right here. They must have gotten all their financial advice from the United States government or from Spain or from freaking wherever, the EU or something, because this is damaging if it goes through. You guys have no idea. This is like a total wipeout for the citizens, and now you're going to pay citizens what? You're going to do like in America, where you underpay livable wages, just like in America, right? So now even when somebody works, has a job, has their own businesses, they got to work overtime to make ends meet because you done taxed the rate up. I mean, this is ridiculous. In fact, I'm fuming about it, as you guys can tell from my explanations. You can tell. I'm like, this is a effed up. These guys have taken all these loans from IMF and have mismanaged the fund that should have been used for development. And now they want the people struggling to pay so they can continue waste. Exactly. Yahweh J didn't hit it right on the head. He's got it right on the head. The IMF cartel is getting a hold of Dominican Republic. And the Dominican Republic people, while y'all are out here worrying about the Haitians, oh, you're screwed. You're screwed. I can tell you right now, Americans, any investor that's not a Dominican citizen that doesn't have to stay there, they get to come out. You have to live under this garbage. And now they're not going to be paid. You think because the Haitians are gone, allegedly, that you're all of a sudden going to be paid what? Instead of $24,000 the annual wage, it's all of a sudden somehow going to be 50? They don't have to. Don't you get it? You guys aren't getting it. They don't need you anymore. What's going to happen is when they start taxing, these hotels already pay a tax. When they start taxing Airbnbs, when they start adding additional taxes for every food item you order and buy from the grocery store, except for 6 of them, that is money in their pocket. 11 million people every day spending X amount of dollars. I don't know how much it is, but let's just say it's, I don't know, $20 million. And you're getting 18 to 30% tax because now they're charging for a bottle of wine. Can you believe this? So here it is, you're a mom and pop. A bottle of wine might be, I don't know what they are, $10. That $10 bottle of wine is going to cost. This is absurd. So now mom and pops cannot stand this. What? Okay, so now you have a restaurant, mom and pop restaurant, a bottle of wine that used to cost you 10 or 12. You know how they do it. They double it at the restaurant. Now that doubling also is going to include another 20% or 30% roughly. So now for them, they're going to cost them, instead of 10 to make it 20, now it's going to cost 15 or 14. So now they have to charge 30 to you. There is never anything good about increasing things $5 to $10. That is not a good thing. That means mom and pop businesses are going to have a harder time because it's going to cost them more money to buy. A big chain or a big company that has the ability to buy in bulk, well, then they'll buy a lesser price to begin with. So even though they're going to be taxed the same percentage wise, it's not the same money because they are going to end up having a lesser bottle of wine. So they have an advantage. And they're able to make more profit because I have a big boy all-inclusive or a big boy chain, so I can charge more for wine in the first place anyhow. Mom and pop, round the corner, somebody starts talking about a $40 bottle of wine, and I'm sitting across from a little small cafe. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about here? This isn't some steakhouse or something. We're not doing 50, 60, 70, $100 bottles of wine sitting around in a little cafe on the corner. That's crazy. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yahweh, thank you for the comment. You put it exactly on the head, because this Dominican tax reform is worse than we think. It could be implemented in 2.5 months. Literally. I didn't know they were doing this already. They admit that that's what they could do. Scary. Very, very scary, ladies and gentlemen, that this could be implemented in a short time. In a short time like this is wild. And like I said, I made that video last week about the Haitians being deported, Dominican Republic Weekly. A lot of people were, going crazy over it. A lot of Dominicans were going good, great, awesome. And I'm sitting there like, guys, you may think it's awesome because you're saying things like you agree with. You're saying, oh, because of them, I can't get paid more. Like, that's a thing. Just like, you guys, they're doing it for something else. And that something else gets revealed the following week and a half later. And I was just like, oh, okay, I see. So now you want a job, you're going to get paid nearly the same or a little bit more, but it's not going to be life-changing. So keep that in mind. That's all I want you guys to remember. Keep it in mind. All right, let's go. Let's see. Good question. Co-hosts are the top guns of Airbnb. Cream of the crop. These are the top super hosts that Airbnb handpicks. You can't be a co-host unless you manage property successfully. Oh, that's good news, Victor Marrero. I'm glad to hear that. At least they have a criteria. The co-host fee is something that you as owner agree directly with the co-host. Airbnb has nothing to do with that. This can be our solution from contracting an unknown management company for 30%. This is true. I like it. But here's the thing, Victor Marrero. So Airbnb is doing a great thing. We hope that these co-hosts take less than 30%. But we all know Airbnb short-term rentals are going to be paying a new tax. If the tax is 18%, now there goes the savings. It doesn't matter if the tax is 15% or 10%. There goes the savings that we would have had. So even if these co-hosts charges us 10%, it depends on what the tax reform tax ends up being for Airbnb, because it could be, like I said, I'm expecting 15 to 20%. In order to save the hotels, they have to match the hotels, right? That's why I'm thinking it's going to be that high. I'm not thinking it's going to be 5%. So now if the co-host says 10% and then it ends up being 18%, let's say, we're back to 28%. And we still have the Airbnb fee as well. That's still standard. So that cuts into your cost, even though you're only going to get -3 on your purchase price. But if you're going to give people 20, 10, or 20%, that's coming off. So you could be paying 23 to 33 to 35% in tax. When you combine the Airbnb 3%, plus if these guys get 30, that's 33 right there. I don't see, and in fact, there's no incentive for people in the DR to give you a break. You need them more than they need you. So I don't know why they would give a break. Just like a normal management company, there's no reason to give a break, especially since everybody's going to be colluding. And it could get worse. I'm going to tell you right now, Victor Morel, there's some things that this has that's going to get worse with regard to this. These management companies, what happens when the tax increases for them? Because remember, they're in the hospitality business, but it is a business. Their tax is going up also. So now, can they really do, if they charge 30, can they still charge 30? Or are they going to tack on that percentage? If it's 4 or 5%, are they going to tack on that? Now is it 35? There's no way they're going to stand pat from their normal rate. So again, this tax reform bill that I've seen, I haven't seen the bill itself, but what everybody's discussing is quite wild. I mean, it is wild. So I don't know why I can't get these. They keep blacking out for me. Very interesting. All right, so I'm going to see if I can change to this screen. Government submits draw law on fiscal modernization and tax reform to Congress. This is October 8th. They already submitted this August 19th. So what is this? The executive branch. Through the Ministry of Finance, sidewalks would be nice, but this thing about waste management, that's just BS. Because waste management only works if you actually have waste management plants. I mean, what are we picking up? Garbage is not going to help you here. All the waste coming from the water, that when people are taking showers, using the bathrooms, using the wash dishes, all that's going somewhere. And how are you going to treat the water? Not at all, like you're doing now. This is crazy. This is crazy. I want you guys to know this is where the 5 years comes from. This initiative has been in preparation for over 5 years, predating President Luis Abinader's administration, and seeks to position the Dominican Republic on a path to full development by the end of his term, providing better opportunities for its citizens. Look at how what better opportunities? You're going to tax your citizens out of submission or into submission with this. It's across the board that you have to pay. Nobody's safe. I go to the grocery store, I'm paying more. I pay more if I get healthy foods. I pay more if I get sugary foods. I pay more if I get alcohol. What are they talking about here? I mean, Jesus, you think SEPN's going to sit by and be like, oh, yeah, we're not going to raise your cost? The energy company I'm referring to. You don't think HOAs now have to pay more because now you're taxing them more on the products they use to cut the grass, taxing them more for seeds, taxing them more for fertilizer, taxing them more. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is absurd. opportunities for its citizens. What are you providing as a government? You're doing just what the United States does. They're not helping us with any damn thing. Uh-oh. Your browser has lost connection. Okay, we got it back. All right. So you guys missed that part, but right here was this initiative has been in preparation for over 5 years, predating President Louis Abinader's administration, and seeks to position the Dominican Republic on a path to full development by the end of its term, providing better opportunities for its citizens, which is a slap in the face. I'm missing the opportunities for citizens part. What opportunity? Did I miss something here? Are you giving some sort of somehow going to nationalize food, nationalize rent? I mean, I'm not following. What benefit? What opportunities do they get? This is insanity. This is really, really crazy. 18% value-added tax from advance payments. And the introduction of an 18% value-added tax. Oh, damn. They're doing the I told you, this is the EU's nonsense. On non-essential goods, replacing the current industrialized goods and services tax. It's still 18%. What difference does it make? Essential items like bread, rice, chicken, milk, and other staples will remain exempt. There's 6 items. Let me see if this is 6 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 more items on the list that remain exempt. Oh, how kind of you. But I mean, come on, man. This is so disgusting, man. This is really, really bad. Really, really bad. COL will have their own management company. Don't think you can hire your own co-host, if I'm not mistaken. That is correct. You can forget COL. COL, if you own at Cruise on Land and you want to be in the management company, one, you have to have you have to be in the rental pool, and second, you have to have bought the furniture package. If you did not buy the furniture package, and you cannot be in the rental pool, and you cannot, wait a minute, hold on, I'm trying to think, can you rent? I don't think you can rent either if you're not in the rental pool. I just can't remember now because there's so many things, but either way. And if you can rent, let's just reverse it. If you can rent, 18% tax automatically has to be paid. And management fee is going to have to be paid. And I don't think you can rent, because that means they would have to allow a management company to come in and clean your unit. So I'm pretty sure you can. But what you're saying is you can't hire. You can't hire your own management company. I'm pretty sure. All right, at Paul Castillo, good point. Your property must not be managed by an internal management company. For example, I can't have a co-host with my Margaritaville property in Orlando. Exactly. Very good point. So this puts up another layer of what the hell, even though it doesn't really, because you're going to have a built-in management company, like Victor Morrell said, Margaritaville. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So anyhow, once and for all, this is what I'll be talking about tomorrow. This was already the initiative 5 years. They haven't said nothing for 5 years. August 19th, Louis Abinader comes out. Now it takes these guys 2 months almost, October 8th, to drop something talking about it after the uproar. And again, I just want you guys to know, there is so many people, so many sectors that are against this tax reform. It's like everybody's against the tax reform. Literally. Dominican textiles against it. The food industry's against it. I mean, it's out of control. Everybody's like, what are you doing? No way. Restaurant owners foresee cost increases with tax reform. something we talked about. Tax reform proposal threatens healthy eating because they're going to tax even the good food, the healthy food, which is crazy. Protests erupt over tax reform in Dominican Republic. That's right, like Boston Tea Party type stuff. No representation by taxation kind of thing going on. The recent tax reform proposal by President Louis Abinader's administration has sparked widespread protests across Dominican Republic, with the modernization bill through organization actions, including Cacerolazo, where people banged pans in protest on Sunday night. These neighborhoods, Naco Morales, Evaristo Morales, Bella Vista, agreed. The protests initiated on social media and other platforms urged citizens to join by making noise at 8 p.m. Well, you can make noise all you want, but you voted for these guys. Holy smokes. This is crazy. Just letting you guys know what's happening out here. Look, everybody's on it. Everybody. This isn't just one person. All these guys. Look at this Cibot group. Call for protests against tax reform. And the coalition of popular organizations of Sabah urging the community to protest the upcoming tax reform, which they believe unfairly targets the working class. They're believe it will unfair place on Wednesday, October 16th. Well, it already has started. If you're near Sabah and you want to go over there and check it out, this is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is very, very, very bad. Oh. Me back. Here goes another person. Again, calls for protests at Congress against tax reform, Opción Democrática. See, everybody's against this. And Terry's highlighted the need to audit public debt, which amounts to $56.6 million as of August 31st, and could reduce regressive consumption taxes and instead focus on progressive taxes, targeting large properties and wealth. Thank you very much. This lady went to my school. That's exactly right. This is how you're supposed to do it. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, you have to remember one thing. In all countries, if you were able to be part of the wealth group, that means the government did what they were supposed to do. Lift up a lot of people. Those people who are wealthy have benefited from maybe tax cut, tax break, maybe all of us who work for them. And so therefore they actually, even though they worked hard themselves to gain it, it's because the government also helped and they have people working for them. It's not like any billionaire, any millionaire can do it by themselves. They need employees. So therefore, you always have to keep in mind who these people work for. You should not be giving the brunt of the tax on top of the people who make the least. That makes zero sense. And that's what they're trying to do over here. They're using a mix of a Euro and an American tax system combined. And this is bad. And I agree with this lady exactly right. And questioned how these funds were spent. And again, this is important. Like I said, she argued government should reduce regressive consumption taxes, which is what it is, and instead focus on progressive taxes targeting large properties and wealth. In fact, she's talking about the large properties like I was. That's correct. All the properties that you guys are allowing to cover up the coastline and have thousands of units, hundreds of units, and be a nice little mega resort, they benefit from the view, from the location, from everything. Meanwhile, the citizens can't live on the beach, can't go to the beach, have to go down some little sidewalls or ask permission to come through and all this other BS. And there you go. That is why it's a shame. This is terrible. And I agree with her 100%. Additionally, Antares called for addressing tax evasion, formalizing the economy through a single taxpayer system, exactly, and improving tax administration efficiency. Objectives she claimed the current proposal fails to achieve, which is also what Airbnb said. They're like, hey, wait a minute. How come we don't pay taxes if we want to just one organization automatically that goes directly into the tax office? Why do I have to pay some other office so you can, you know what's happening? They're skimming the money and then they're forwarding whatever to the tax office. This tax evasion is by government as well. And that's why she's also asking for the audit about the public debt of $56 million. What happened? Where's the money? What was it spent for? This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. These guys have opened up a whole can of worms, and it's a bad, bad, bad thing for citizens of the Dominican Republic, and it's bad for everybody doing business in the Dominican Republic with these rules, especially if they go down. This is not good at all. Again, if anybody thinks this is going to be good, please let me know, but only people who can get in the chat room tonight are only members of the channel. But on Friday night at 9:10 p.m., we'll be talking about this again, because I'm dropping a video tomorrow about I'm going to have to do 3 parts to this, so you guys can understand how this is going to affect different things: real estate, business, citizens, those 3 different things. All of these do not mesh together. And the business that is businesses off of businesses. If you're in the hospitality business, that doesn't mean you own a hotel. You could still be in the excursion business. Imagine the excursion business all of a sudden having to charge you an additional 10 to 15%. They're already ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. So now what? I mean, and then when people land on the island and they're tourists, it's going to affect them. And then now companies are going to start going, oh, hey, Dominicans, I'm sorry. You know, we have to pay 20% more now. We can't pay you wages that you want. So if you want a job, you got to take these little wages. It costs us more to operate now. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. I'm telling you right now, we've seen this play before. You guys got to study history sometime. This is what people do, EU zone and Americas. This is the type of language that they're going to use. They're going to say, oh, hey, we can't. And then you find out, what do you mean you made $100 million last year in profits? What do you mean the CEO gets paid $10 million a year? We can't get a raise here? Seriously? Anything significant? That's what's going to happen. Congratulations. They're trying to move into asshole heaven. Again, I know I'm not going to have no love on the island. Well, maybe now for the citizens, but the government, they're like, hold on, let's revoke his stuff. They're like, wait, he's talking bad about us like this. Let's revoke his stuff. Don't worry. You ain't the first government that's going to try and revoke my ass. Stand in line. I'm used to this crap. Oh, my God. Eventually, if we become successful superhosts, then we can apply for co-host status and have another passive income stream, just another option in case you want to. Yeah, but you won't actually be on the island to co-host, though. So, I mean, unless you're going to try and co-host. Yeah, I mean, you could do it, but that'd be like, Victor Morel, you know how it works. You would have to, I mean, you would still have to be in the pipeline for the work. And I don't think you want people calling you while you're doing Mr. Worldwide tour and being like, hey, man, I can't check in. Where's the people? I missed my flight. Can you figure out something else? I'll be coming there tomorrow. And then you're going to have to figure out. I mean, I don't think you want to do that. That's the way I see it. Maybe it could work a different way, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't even know if I'd want a co-host unless the co-host is doing everything that a management company would do. And he said, oh, yeah, I'll do it for you for 20% or 15%. Otherwise, I'm just like, well, then what do I need you for? I can just get the management company to handle it for 25%, possibly. I'm guessing now. I don't know. But 30% we know we can do. I've been wanting to pay 20, and I don't think there's any 20 percenters anymore. Brian P., Mr. Dividend has arrived. Welcome to the SSN Nation. Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with that icon next to his name, because only members with the icon could be in the chat room tonight. Only members of the channel can be here. Another investor is here. Mr. Dividend is in the house for the stocks, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you have your pen, pad, and paper. Yield Max ETFs. It's simple. Yield Max ETFs. Brian P. brings his tagline. Hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Yes, it's going well. Hello, SSN family. I got the notification, saw the trailer, and he did the trifecta as well. Smash that like button. That's right. Gave it a one piece. Just like we got to come down there to the DR, and all the citizens in the DR, all the businesses in the DR, they got to come down there and give the one piece to everybody up in Congress, because this is BS. There's different ways they could have done this, but unfortunately, Jaway J already hit it on the head. The IMF is going to loan the Dominican Republic money. You have to get your financial systems and structures into place under IMF orders, so IMF can take over your country and have you under their thumb for the rest of your freaking life. And you didn't have to. You didn't have to. All you had to do was say, F you, IMF. You know why? We got Hyatt, Marriott, every freaking 5-star hotel business around the world wants to build in our backyard. All I'm going to do is tell these dudes, hey, you got to chop me up $1 million, $1.5, $2 million check just to even think about coming over here building one of your damn places. And after that, the tax is going to be freaking 18, 20%. And oh, by the way, depending on how many units you're going to have in your building, we're going to have an additional 1%, 2% tax. So if you have 300 units, okay, you get a 1% tax. If you're going to have 1,000 units, you're going to have to give us a 3% tax on top, because we're bringing over all these tourists. We wasting all this money on tourism, promotion by the Minister of Tourism. Come on now. This is what they should be doing. Don't even let me get upset about this, man, because the DR, you guys are effing up. So anyhow, this was so much easier. You're doing the Punta Bergadin, doing the movie theaters or movie studios. What do you think you're supposed to be doing when movie studios are coming over here? You just let them come over here for free? You're using our beautiful island, and you're going to be blocking up our roads when you're doing your movies out on the set outside, when you're in the jungles tearing it up? I'm going to let you use this for free. Hell no. You get taxed, just like when movie studios are in every city and people say, hey, I want to do our movie in Chicago. There's a motion picture situation that you got to contact and say, hey, we're going to do a movie over here. Is it going to be allowed? You tell them what movie. They say, hey, you know what? You got to pay us $50,000 for that day or that 2 days. How long are you going to be here? A week. Okay, you got to pay us $150,000. This is what you're supposed to be doing instead of taxing your citizenry. Okay. Oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. I'm sorry. I have to go off because this is so asinine. It drives me crazy. All right, Brian P., Mr. Dividends in the house. This is stock markets. This investor strategy session, dividend investing. That's number one on your list. The stock market is booming. Another record today for the Dow Jones. Are you not getting a VOO? Are you not getting a VOOG? These are stock symbols. These are ETFs. These are total market type indexes. Are you not getting these? I know they're expensive, but don't worry. If you download Robinhood and Webull, I have links down below. All right, in the chat room. They're Robinhood and Webull. They're apps. You can get free shares of stock if you download the app. You can buy partial shares. So if a stock is $400, like VOOs and VOGs, and $250, and you can't afford that, and you say, well, okay, I'll buy $25, $50, $100, $200 worth. That's fractional shares you can buy. But let's just say you go, okay, I just want to do dividend stocks. Okay, that's fine. And you can do fractional shares with dividend stocks as well. Go to yieldmaxetfs.com and there's probably something that you might like, but you have to study. You have to make sure the research you do fits your investment criteria. It's that simple. All right. You don't have to just listen to me. You don't have to listen to anybody here in the chat room either. We're just giving you some pointers that you can go look toward. Because if you want 15% return on your money, 12% return on your money or more, then we have a few suggestions. I have. I want to give high risk, high rewards. High risk, high rewards first. This is IEP, Charles Icahn Group, Carl Icahn Group. I is in India, E is in Eric, P is in Paul. Check out IVR, but check them out very carefully to see if and when they still give out dividends, because if they do, that's going to be pretty high. ARR, that's going to be pretty high. That's a real estate investment trust. And then, of course, things 15% or less, NLY, AGNC, P is in Paul, S is in Sam, E is in Eric, C is in Charles, IWMY, FEPI, and there's probably more that somebody else is going to drop in the chat room. All right. And then, of course, we have our YieldMax ETFs. And if you want something stable around 9%, then the JP Morgan ETF is fine. JEPI, JEPQ, you win. All right. Jaway J. I'm beginning to think the deportation of the Hayes is just a smokescreen to divert attention from the tax reform. Jaway J. That's exactly what it is. It's a twofold effect. First is it's always that way. Just like what's happening right now in America with the immigration. That's the one thing, right? So it's the same thing. You have people who are voting in Congress against an immigration bill are the same ones out here saying there should be an immigration bill. So that's a misdirection because they're trying to make you look at that while they're failing at their other crap. That's how it works. All right. So same thing they did there. 10, like that crazy number, 10,000 per week. That was crazy. It ends up being 188,000 was reported in less than 2 weeks. So I don't know what happened between 10,000 a week and all of a sudden it's 188,000. But that 188 is like, oh my, a big eye opener for all the Dominicans who were like, man, I'm blaming the immigrants on our problems. I'm blaming them. I can't get into the hospital. I'm blaming them that they're taking the jobs. They're taking lesser pay for jobs we should have. The same stuff, all immigrant, anytime people start talking, same stuff they talked about in Nazi Germany. All right. Immigrants. Don't be a sucker. All right. Because that is misdirection. You're all immigrants. Stop playing out here. All right. But yeah, you're right. It is a smokescreen. It's a diversion. And it's also the will of the people. There's a lot of Dominicans that want the Haitian migrants gone. Because like I said, they feel they're taking housing. They feel they're getting unfair health care, which, again, I'm not adept at that, but that's what people were writing underneath that video I made. I just don't understand how it would be a priority to allow other people who aren't from the country. How do they have health insurance and all that? That's kind of strange to me, but that's what people are saying. And they're saying they come to the waiting room as a Dominican, and then they have to wait for hours to see a doctor. And the weird part is, if you were in America and you showed up at the waiting room, you got to wait hours, and they ain't due to no freaking immigrants. So, I mean, take it for whatever you want, but I'm just saying. So that's why I will have to say this. When it comes to immigrants, that's why I was a proponent. I said, hey, it's a good thing your country's doing this for you. Because I put in taps. I said, man, this is awesome. The country's doing this for you because now you won't have any more excuses. So now, after they remove the Haitians and you go to the hospital and you still have to sit there for 4 or 5 hours, what's going to be your excuse then? When you go for a job and whatever the Haitians are getting paid, I don't know, but let's just say they got paid $10 an hour. So now when you go for those vacant jobs and they tell you $10 per hour, what's going to be your excuse then? That's all I'm saying. You're thinking of some sort of fantasy land that business is like your friend. Like just because they paid the Haitians $10 an hour, you roll up, they're going to be like, oh yeah, because you're Dominican, you get $10 an hour. Like somehow magically the numbers are going to change for who they're going to employ. Remember, when you do employment from a business standpoint, it's based on your revenues and how much you make. Now, granted, there is a way that migrants could get paid less substantially. This is true. But from a business standpoint, there's no incentive for me as a businessman to pay you instead of $10 an hour to the migrant and you show up and I give you 20. Under what capitalist system do you think that's going to work? You already see what's happening here in America. It's running the program for you. What happened in America when they said, hey, we're tired of people getting paid $10 an hour. It's not even a livable wage. You guys are making hundreds of millions of dollars. Why don't you pay more? So then states came up with mandatory minimum wage. What happened when they did that? Companies go, oh no, bye-bye. We shutting down. We leaving. We're not going to pay you nothing like that. And then some companies said, we're staying, we'll pay it. But here's the funny part. The same companies that said, oh no, we're leaving, we're shutting down, we ain't paying it, are the same companies who are giving their CEOs $80 to $100 million on their exit plan. And the same companies who are hiring the guy that just got cut from his previous job with a $100 million exit plan after being a bad CEO goes to another company and they say, welcome, here's $75 million package for you. Welcome to our team. You're the CEO here now. Meanwhile, the employees are looking around like, did they just give this dude like $80 million? And we've been getting the same pay for the last 5 years? Are you serious right now? So again, that playbook's already been played. There is no incentive for business to pay. Employees are the most expensive piece of the pie for a business, employee cost, because you have taxes on employees' pay. And you're paying part of employees' pay. Sometimes you might even be paying healthcare. So therefore, your guys are acting like this is something new. These corporations that pay people, these corporations that develop on your island, they've been doing this worldwide. They know all the tricks. And they also know that whatever you don't know is there is no country that can block people from jumping fences, building tunnels, doing whatever. So here's the bad news. There's still going to be migrants, but they're going to be based on protected. They're going to be based on those that came through the front door and said, hey, we come over here to work. Is it okay? So you're still going to have migrants legally. It ain't like they're going to disappear. Maybe there's 3 million is what somebody told me. I was like, well, if you can count 3 million, then that means they're not illegal. I don't know how you're supposed to track illegal people if they just jump the fence. I'm just like, where are you getting these numbers from? Just like in America, 15 million people. I'm like, well, if they're illegal, how do you know there's 15 million people? I mean, if you can count the person, then that means they're either, you know who they are. How are they illegal then? I mean, this is crazy talk to me. This is almost like any one of us in our neighborhood telling people, hey, did you guys see that 1,000 people? They came into our neighborhood and people are like, no, I didn't see it. And then it's like, okay, but it's 1,000 people. Somebody told me. How do you know? Somebody told you. How do you know? Did you count 1,000 people? Really? Seriously? And if you did, why didn't you hem them up? Why didn't you stop them then? I mean, this is crazy stuff. All right. Anyhow, Let's keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys are thinking. We got some good information here going from Jaway J, Victor Morrell, Paul Castillo, Brian P. Thank you. And that is a misdirection. Yes, that was a misdirection. Damn, I'm flying to DR on Tuesday. So good to know that the banging of pots and pans happens on Sundays. Hey, Victor Morrell, that was on the 16th. Oh, tonight. No. Tonight they're banging pots as well. I think it's an orchestrated event, according to what they're saying. It was on social media and whatever to bang your pots and pans and do all this. It was 8 p.m. on Sunday. Apparently, there's another one tonight, and they're probably planning tonight to be banging it sometime on the weekend, I guess. So we'll see. But you'll be in the protected zone because you're going to be over by Hard Rock, I'm assuming, right? So you'll be in the Conner Rock protected zone. So I don't think you're going to hear pots and pans. I don't, unless you know what I want to know. How many people actually live at Conner Rock and all those condos? Because I don't think people live there because there's no, it doesn't make sense to live there. The units aren't designed for long-term stay because you'd walk in, there's no closet. You only have a closet in your bedroom. And then if you needed things for cleaning and all that, it's kind of weird for me. All right, Victor Morrell, make sure you bring your rice pot with you so you can protest this way. Paul Castillo. Hey, Eric, check out your emails. Yeah. Thank you, Brian P. I'm about to get to some of that emails as well. Make sure everybody, before you leave, smash that like button. That would be greatly appreciated. If you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. Let's see here. There is something that I pulled up that I wanted to talk about. Damn it. Where is it? I didn't. Oh, man. Come on. Seriously? No. It's not that. You sent me something. And damn it. There was two things I had ready to roll. Let me see if I can find it. Nope. I can't find it. Oh, man. All right. So here's what I'll do too. This is another protest for tourism. I figured I might as well do this. Then we'll get to the Brian P. Here we are. Look at this. This is October 8th as well. We went over this partially the week, but the National Association of Hotels and Tourism has expressed serious concerns about the government's proposed tax reform, arguing it could have their economy. President David Lilbrey, what is that? It's Yebrey, emphasized the need for competitive tax regime to attract foreign investment and develop new hotels. Ooh, yeah, I know you're sweating too. While supporting improvements to the law of the promotion of tourism development, Comfort Tour. Ooh, they're about to cancel that. He warned that the current reform could deter hotel chains from operating in the Dominican Republic, leading to a decline in tourism. He's right. He's exactly right. This is exactly the way I see it. The way I see it is exactly the same. He pointed out that the tourism industry contributes significantly to the economy. 3 out of every $10 is attributed to the tourists on the exchange platform. Could you imagine all the people who walk by the exchange at the airport and be like, I don't think I'm going to be doing 30 to 1 or 35 to 1 when I'm be getting 58, 59 to 1. But I think it's higher. I think it's 6 out of 10. Every $6 out of $10, I think goes to the tourism. And they're going to creating hundreds of thousands of jobs. He's correct. Hundreds. Cost benefit analysis should take into account the sector's contribution to tax revenue compared to its tax expenditures. He's correct. The proposed reform includes the elimination of various incentives for the tourism sector, industries, and free trade zones too. Oh my God. If they take it, well, the free trade zones are going to all get taxed as well. This is a money grab. Damn, everything coming to the island is going to be taxed. Everything you buy except for 6 food items is going to be taxed. Holy smokes. And oh, by the way, all you guys who invested and you got that Comfort Tour. Guys who don't have Comfort Tour, Oh my God. Man. And here's the other thing. If they implement January 1st, all of the projects that do not have comfort tour, Larimar, Cruise on Land, blah, blah, yada, yada, all of you who are sitting there, played the game, your times is up. That means the new tax laws come in, your comfort tour under these rules. So now you're going to have to turn back to people. It's 3% to when people transfer it into their name. That tax is there, and that real estate taxes will not be zero for 15 years. So a lot of people have projects that did not do the comfort tour yet. They are going to have it probably, but now there's going to be a crunch to either get it. And now if we have 50 to 100 properties all at the same time trying to get comfort tour, now what's going to happen? There'll be a backlog. They're not going to meet that 2.5 month timeline. So keep all this in mind. All the rest of you, now it sucks because all the rest of you who have approved and you've had to wait 5 years, that means your comfort tour is not 15 years, it's down to 10. Just keep that in mind. What people don't know now, they changed it a few years ago, apparently, about a year and a half ago, maybe even 2. If you have comfort tour, it starts when it's approved by the government, not when you take possession of your property. So when these guys are out here and I get pissed about these delays, now you guys understand there's ramifications from these delays. And the fact now that it puts you into another situation, not only can you not have comfort tour, but now you could be paying higher tax. Well, you will be paying higher taxes when you get your condo, villa, townhome delivered after potentially January 1st. It could be January 1st or January 15th. It could be in January, which blows me away. All right. So just keep all that in mind. There's no strategy that you can get around this one. If the tax obligation starts, let's say February 1st, and your project does not have comfort tour, does not have that piece, then you're going to be paying taxes because they are starting the real estate taxes now. All of that, you're paying tax. So if you did buy something overpaid and bought something for $300,000-400,000, you could potentially have a tax of $4,000, $5,000 a year, depending on if it's 400 or 500,000, 300,000, 3,000 a year. Add that into your expenses now. So now you just added $250 per month for taxes. If you're doing short-term rental, now you're going to add another $200 to $300 for your HOAs. $500, $550 is now what you have to pay, and you still haven't paid water, electrical, any other sitting expenses and holding costs that you're going to need. You could be at $600 per month out of your pocket. And then you still have to pay 30 or 25, 30, 35% to the management company off of every deal. While they raised your price 18%, if it's Airbnb agrees to that, 18% goes to the government. But your price is raised. So now something reasonable could be $200 per night, could be $350 per night or $325 per night. And now all of a sudden you put yourself in a whole nother category when somebody comes to the island. But now people come to the island and they're just like, I went to La Bruja, that place Eric and all the SSN Nation goes eats at. And yeah, man, that thing was 980 pesos, like they showed on the menu for that barbecue and the corn and the fries and all that. But wait, I'm here. And wait a minute. This is now another 1,800. Now it's at 1,100. They added on another 10%. Wait, what happened? This is 1,250 pesos. What's going on? I mean, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Right? 1,280 pesos, 1,250, and then you got to pay 18% ITBIS on it. I mean, this is crazy. And we know that's going to happen because the food cost as well went up. So their prices have to go up accordingly. So they're going to pay 30%. So the thing's going to be 1,300 minimum. And it's going to be 1,300 plus 18% to the pesos. 1,300 pesos plus 18%. That's another $16, $17 to damn near 34 per person. Just off of that meal is what I'm referring to. This is what's going to happen. So now tourists are coming like, okay, like I said, me and the wife, $75, 2 drinks, which also are going up because they're charging more for bottles. Well, how else do you buy your tequila and rum and stuff? All of a sudden now you buy them in, I mean, they come in bottles. Now you're going to charge me an extra $3, $4 per bottle. I mean, this is what they're talking about. So that means now my drinks aren't going to be $10 no more, $8 anymore, right? Those drinks, 2 drinks is going to be like $30. So we're going to be over $100 with no appetizer and 2 drinks each. If we get appetizers, then we're going to be at $150, $160 for just appetizers, 2 drinks, and our meal. Not even a dessert. You could be at $200 with ease. That doesn't seem like a cool ass vacation to me. All right? I'm just saying. Let me know what you guys think. Different. This is interesting. I hope I like this. This is very interesting. I didn't realize I could do something here. All right. Speaking of homes, thank you, Brian P., Mr. Dividend. 5.6 million vacant homes in America. Are we misunderstanding the housing crisis? No, you're not misunderstanding. Okay, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I advise you, if you're going to buy a home, if you're thinking about rehabbing homes, if you're thinking about anything to do with homes, condos, villas, townhomes, I suggest you search the channel for Buying a Home Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. The reason why I'm imploring you to do this is so you understand what you're looking at. When you see this right here, this may be one of the 5 or 6 million, what was it, 5.6 million vacant homes. But do you understand these materials, what this was built with? They only last X amount of time. So what's your rehab cost going to be if you said, I got to put a roof on, if I got to do this roof, if I have to do this flooring here, and if I have to do the siding, you have to understand what you're getting into. These type of older homes are always going to be available as each year goes by. In fact, I was looking at something. I was going back to Cali, thinking about going back to Cali. So, I started looking in my old neighborhood, and I was like, wait a minute. All these homes were built in like 2003, 2004, 2005. I was like, wait, they're already 20 years old. All the materials, the fridge, the dishwasher, the ceiling fans, the heating, the AC units, traditionally, just what I mentioned, would generally either have to have significant upgrades and maintenance or replaced some components. And those are thousands of dollars these days. So even the semi-custom to custom homes, the materials matter. The materials may be good because, again, 20 years from 2005 would be 20 years. Tile, roofing, things like that, they only go up to 30 years in some instances. If you have the asphalt tiles, you could be talking about 50 years or longer. But either way, you're halfway through the life cycle. So you have to start thinking, is it 50 years when something's going to start happening, or is it going to be 30? Is it going to be 35? This is what people keep forgetting. I don't care how many vacant homes there are. All these homes that are like 20 years old, you got to fix them, or somebody had to fix it before you. And the cost of AC units being $10,000 now just blows me away. And you're going to have to replace them. And the house that I had before had 2 AC units. So imagine your house is 20 years old and the AC units haven't been replaced yet. Can you? I mean, that's crazy. Just even think about it. And thinking any day, any one of them can go out, or I need repair on it to try to make it lifespan longer. Either way, it's costing you thousands of dollars. All right. The narrative of America's housing crisis is long centered on the severe shortage of available homes. While true, data issued by LendingTree found that there are 5.6 million vacant properties across the nation's 50 largest metros. The figure represents an average of 7.37% vacancy rate, prompting a closer look at the true nature of housing crunch. 7.37% vacancy rate. Wait, I don't understand. I thought the house was vacant. But anyhow, with home prices high as they are, it may seem strange that so many homes in the nation's largest metros are sitting empty. LendingTree senior economist Jacob Channel said of the apparent contradiction, yet the senior economist noted that the vacancies don't necessarily indicate an abundance of housing. Exactly. I think there's a misnomer as well. Rental vacancy has climbed in recent years as rental inventory has managed to recover significantly in many markets. Yeah, I'm with him. I think there's something's off with this. The trend suggests a shift in the rental landscape rather than just a glut of abandoned properties. Seasonal and recreational use accounts for the second most common reason for vacancy. Exactly. It's wintertime. A house can be considered vacant even if it's only empty for a relatively short time. Like if it's a vacation home not being used, Channel said. Personal and family reasons are the top 3 causes. All right. So despite the vacancies, the housing supply remains tight. That's what I'm saying. According to Realtor, homeowner vacancy stands at 0.9%. Wow. While rental rates at 6.6%. These are all low, both near historic lows. This is why being an economic person, Jesus, what do, ladies and gentlemen? You come up with a plan and you say, hey, we're going to induce a housing building boom because supply and demand creates a lower cost. So if your government all of a sudden wakes up one day and says, hey, we want to build 3-4 million homes like yesterday, get on it. Well, then we got something happening here. That should help out. You all of a sudden build 3 million, 2 million homes in a year across the country. That is doable, you know. That puts a lot of people to work. I'm just saying. Oh man, do we have to revamp the system like it's supposed to be, like it's supposed to work? I mean, come on now. Too bad we have greedy people. All right. So this is exactly what we do. Jones said that for sale inventory remains more than 20% below pre-pandemic. Of course it does. The price costs too much for the interest rate. We got to get another 0.5 interest rate decrease before we start getting that movement. And so the Federal Reserve's done what they should do. All this is going to wipe out. This 20% below stuff is going to be wiped out starting in 2025 in January or February, whenever they do that rate cut. That's when the cuts are going to be in the 4%. So it'll be somewhere like 4.5 to 4%, I'm guessing. And then people are going to be in the buying spree mode. All right. Let's see what else. The geographical distribution of vacancy adds another layer to the story. New Orleans tops the list with 14.5, followed by Miami at 12.9. Of course, that's okay. These are not even that you need to talk about. Miami is very expensive now. And there's a lot of condos that are getting their certification. People can't pay it. So what they're considering vacancies, I think they're attributing. New Orleans It's New Orleans. I mean, to me, I don't even know. I love to go there, but I don't know how people live there. Two different things. Um, okay. All right. There we go. Let me know what you guys are thinking about some of this stuff. This is pretty wild, if you ask me. Pretty wild. All right. I'm pretty sure there's, let's see. Victor Morel says, good point. Co hosts are collected. Hold on a second. Yikes. Okay, here we go. We're back. Victor Morel has a point. That's Jaway J, but that's up here. Deportation. Oh, okay. It went back to the top. All right, good point. Co-hosts are co-allocated with the properties they're assigned to. You will have to live there. I'm just thinking it's another job for me, and I'm not trying to unretire. Exactly. Forget the other job, Victor Morel. You don't want that one. Victor Morel, Paul Castillo. I know, right? My mother-in-law there has plenty in her kitchen. Oh, man, I missed something. Oh, here. Oh, that was from before. Rice pot. That's funny. I still haven't received my October CONY dividends, which it was scheduled every 6th day of the month. No, it kind of changed. What? Wait a minute. It's October 16th. Does anyone know what's going on with CONY dividends this month? What does Yiomax ETF say? YioMaxETFs.com. What do they say? Speaking of that, you guys know what time it is. We have who saw the SSN lifestyle. That means I have another one that I'm going to show right now. Let me see which one. I haven't shown. There's one I haven't shown in a long time. The music one. I don't even have it on here anymore, it looks like. That's interesting. All right. Well, it happens. Oh, I do. I haven't played the music one. Let's go. This one. Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you like this so far. CONY. Let's see. Well, okay. First of all, I will start with the usual. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, October, not here, man. What's happening? It only shows September's. So you are correct. There must have been a change. So now you got to go find out why. Oh, no. Hold on. AP. Oh, I know why. Hold on. You're in a different group now. You have a different payout day because they changed the dividends because YMAX is every week. Then depending on which group you're in, that's the payout date. I forgot about that. They changed up. Remember, they pay every week now. So your payout date is probably more. Declared date for the 18th. It's on Friday, man. $1.11 per share, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even want to get into this because we're gonna get blocked. Watch. I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna get blocked. So I'm not gonna show it on the screen, but here's well, I guess I should. Hold on, let me see if we're still gonna get blocked. I don't care. Let's see. So there you go. Paul Castillo, it's on the 18th. Set it and forget it. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. I know it says 101%. It's a distribution based on you have to study. It's based on them doing options trading. All right. And there's fees paid. They can do puts, they can be doing the regular, but $10.18. As long as you bought the stock by tomorrow. They declared it on by the X date. You should get a dividend on the 18th, and then every 18th there. Well, yeah, every 18th thereafter. That's why they changed it, Paul Castillo, because now they have you in groups since they did the YMAG every week, YMAG and YMAX. All right. So, in case anybody's paying attention, this here, oh, I don't have it. Damn it. I thought oh, no wonder I didn't see it. All right. I hate when this happens. All right. Let's see how this goes. I'll just do it a few ways. Here, nothing. Stop sharing. All right, fine. All right, I just stopped sharing because this is what always happens. In case you're new here, whenever we do UMAX ETFs, it's just do it. In fact, I might be booted out. I'll come back in. All right, everybody, make sure you smash the like button, share the videos, let other people know on Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Come back for the next investor strategy session because every live stream is an investor strategy session, and I'm very, very proud of it because we have a lot of people here. This is Stop Struggling Now, SSN Nation. If you have disposable income, then you should be making use of it. Do not let it sit idly by. Do not go buy liabilities. You need to use money to make investments because just what's happening in the Dominican Republic is the same thing that's happening in America on a whole different level because it's going to cost us more money. There's going to be changes because we have a debt situation in America. And by the way, in case people don't know, you as an American citizen is on the hook for about $260,000 to $290,000 to pay back the debt. And guess what? Because there is interest, your kids, great grandkids are going to have a higher percentage. Think about that for a minute. So therefore, there has to be tax implications in the United States as well. Money grab, land grab, property grab, bank account grabs. It's all going down like it's a third world country, and you guys don't know it yet. So make sure you have properties outside the U.S. or have a way to make business outside the United States, because otherwise you could find yourself in a world of hurt down the line. We'll be able to skirt it because the Federal Reserve has powers beyond what they had before during the Great Depression, even more than they had during the Great Recession, but it's not going to save them. Because the bottom line to the story is there is not enough tax monies being taken from the wealthy to pay down our deficit. And here's the bad news. There's not enough from the ordinary citizens either. The contributions from everybody has to be more. So either way, you can't get there. But I will say this. If somebody has $100 billion and you don't tax them, that is a travesty. If they don't have to pay 20% like the rest of us, that's a travesty. I'm just saying. They don't. But I'm just saying that's a travesty. So that means workers, people who would never see $1 billion, let alone 30 billion or 50 billion, have to pay because these guys have the accountant and tax advantages not to pay what we pay. So if you have to pay 15 to 20%, why wouldn't they have to pay 15 to 20%? And of course, the tax code is built for the wealthy. They get to bribe the congressman in America. All right, that's enough on my speech. That's why who you vote for matters. And voting, with 3 years to go, all-time record highs in early voting. Oh my God, there's a galvanization. This is how people should have all this energy for freaking getting the tax code right and voting for those that are wanting to have the tax code right, so everybody pays their fair share. So that way we have a functioning middle class. I got news for you. As you guys know, the upper middle class is on the next checklist for the wipeout. 150,000 to 200,000, up to 200,000. If you don't make it, you're going to be living in a class system pretty soon. You better get a house. Now, even though a house is a liability, which is the weirdest part, it's also the last thing is shelter. On the pyramid, you have a roof and a shelter over your head. Unfortunately, there is something that Brian P. sent me today. I hope I still have this up, because it just dawned on me what he sent me, something that is atrocious. It had something to do with, oh my God, it's bad. Again, I don't exaggerate when I start doing that stuttering. It's bad. It has to do with 97,000 homes. The insurance company said, we're not going to give you insurance, or something to that effect. I was going to bring this up tonight, and I can't believe I can't find it. Golly, I had it on my hit list. I don't believe this. Where is it? Oh my God. I was looking at it. I don't have it. Oh, this is so sick. Okay, I might have to try and pull it up a different way. Yeah. I can't remember even where it was. I started looking at it and then I forgot what city it was in or state, but it was 97,000 homes. That's all I remember that they're not going to cover. And I don't know what insurance company it was. Maybe Brian P. might have it, might know what I'm referring to, but that is what's going down also. Here it is. The 92,000 I am incorrect about. It looks like it's 72,000 if this is the same one. Coverage for 72,000 California homes and apartments. State Farm won't renew homeowners coverage. This is what I told you guys was going to happen. Florida, look, Florida's one thing. The fires in California is another. Whatever else happens in the United States is another, but these insurance companies are all over the U.S. What they're doing is they're taking away the high risk, and then whatever's left over, they're combining across the 50 U.S. states. But by doing that, your premiums are going to go up. There is no way around it. You have less people paying. This is why and how the Affordable Care Act was sabotaged. Competition, so it's going to keep a rate increase. That's how you sabotage the insurance system. Except we all want health care for all, right? But here it is. Let me put this on screen if I can. We'll see. But it's 72,000. This is no joke. This is what's going down no matter what state you live in. Like I said, there's homes in the neighborhood I'm in right now. The insurance companies, whether it's an A grade, B, C, D, whatever, the insurance companies will not insure this neighborhood. Homes are, 1972? What is that? Is that 40? 50? 50. 52 years old. They're taking a risk. The reason is in the Atlanta metro area, there's trees every freaking foot. So unless you spend $5,000, $3,000, $10,000, $12,000 cutting down trees, because that's how much they're charging people here to cut down one tree, $5,000, $6,000, because it's a business, right? They have to have it down, or if it hits your house, your house repairs more. So this is what's causing a lot of insurance. Keep all that in mind, because this is finally to Cali. State Farm will discontinue coverage for 72,000 homes, houses, and apartments in California starting this summer. Now, this week, 9 months after announcing it wouldn't issue new home policies in the state. There you go. State Farm. Catastrophic or catastrophes like wildfires and outdated regulations are reasons it won't renew the policies on 30,000 homes and 42,000 apartments. The Bay Area News Group, after careful analysis of State Farm General's financials, system, whether you want it or not, catastrophe. All right, guys, hey, there's nothing we can do about it. Not back. Okay, back. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, back in the neighborhood. Nothing I can do. I was wondering when that was going to happen sooner or later, because we talked about Yomax. I shouldn't have done it. All right, there you go. Hey, Eric, picked up some ET today. Brian P. loving that 7% dividend rate. ULTY is 100% return. Oh, my. Why MAG? Why Max? All right. That's why you always have your pen, pad, and paper here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure if you're on the podcast, follow buttons. Make sure wherever you are, hit the follow buttons, hit the like buttons, hit the heart buttons, whatever they have. IWMY. Yes, Brian P., Mr. Dividends, of course. We're talking about it. We're going to San Domingo first. El Naco, my wife's mom, has her apartment there. All right, just what they were talking about. That's where the pots and pans were being knocked out on the apartments, man. You might get in on some of that fun after all, Victor Marrero. Paul Castillo, if this tax reform is passed, it will have a chain reaction on high prices on everything, which it might affect tourism. Paul Castillo, there's no might. There's no might. The reason why it is because food prices are on the list, except for 6 food items are exempt. The essentials, bread, rice, eggs, there's 6. After that, all food prices go up, all alcohol prices go up because every bottle is taxed now. Additional tax for every bottle. Bottle, not like boxes, bottle. So that means every serving of alcohol now has to cost more, which obviously on all inclusives, they have to raise the price to offset that extra cost. And that extra 30%. And again, I'm just going to say, you can extrapolate for yourself. What is being consumed at these all-inclusives that not everybody, but a large percentage, I would guess somewhere like 85 to 90% of people are consuming some, if it's not alcohol, then it's going to be some other drink, coffee, tea, whatever, but they're all being taxed additional. So it doesn't matter. It's not an essential. Unless they got bread, eggs, milk, and I can't remember the other 3. That's normal. That's in the breakfast menu. But everything else is going to be taxed, whether it's going to be 5%, 10%, or 18%. Or it could be 1%, but that's on something totally different. But yeah, so you tell me if now, again, I'm not privy to the all-inclusive financials, but if you're an all-inclusive and during 1 month, your wholesale cost is $300,000 for alcohol, and then all of a sudden they tell you it's going to be an extra like 20%. Now it's $360,000. So that 60,000 has to be covered, right? Who's going to be paying it? They're not. And there's other factors that are going to come into play, because now when I pour it into the cup, the customer already is going to pay the 18%, but it's going to add 1 more percent, which some would say that's minor, but the alcohol is now going to cost us more. So instead of it $10 per person, now you're at $14 or $15 that the people are going to have to pay as a tourist. And I'm not referring to all-inclusives, but it works the same way, whether I'm at the all-inclusive or whether I'm at the restaurant down the street. All of us as a tourist or guest or citizen have to pay more now for our food at the restaurants and our drinks. There's no exemption. You're not getting an exemption. It's across the board. That's just for starters. So it's going to get a lot worse, unfortunately, because they're taxing. The same reason why tariffs don't work is the same reason what they're doing now isn't going to work, because people keep forgetting it's layered. It's not just that I get to charge extra for the food, because now the food that costs me extra, I have to make a profit and I have to have it shipped in, or I have to go get it. So that cost for the shipping interaction, I got to pay for too. So now it's going to cost me more. And now the consumer has to pay more. There's a chain reaction, as you're saying, Paul Castillo. There's just no way around it. No way around it. And they're doing this potentially. This would disrupt their island. They had a nice little thing going, but they didn't want to tax where the tax should be. They didn't want to tax the billion-dollar corporations coming to take advantage of the tourism. See, here's the thing. It's a whole different thing if the real estate hotel industry themselves. It'd be different if they said, hey guys, we have $100 million advertising for tourism fund. You have to each contribute X amount into this. So they actually contributed to the tourists coming in and then some. I could then understand some sort of an exemption, but that doesn't seem like that's what they're doing. It seems like David Collado, Louis Abinader, and their team is going around all over the world making deals, trying to get more tourists to come to the island. And maybe they're doing backdoor deals with the hotels, but it doesn't seem like it to me, because they wouldn't be charging all this extra money even to the hotels. They wouldn't be worried. They're worried. So this is why I'm saying this is crazy. People will start vacationing in other more affordable countries. Exactly. And where are they? The other up and comings, where are they? People are just going to go, okay, I'll just go to Mexico then. But Mexico's not cheap as it used to be either, but there's a reason. They did the tax thing too. But the point is, if it's all equal, then now it's like there's no real reason for me to pick DR over Aruba or DR over, hell, I don't even need a passport to go to Puerto Rico. So, I mean, this is crazy. Like I said, we'll see how this all plays out. On Friday, we'll talk a little bit more. I'll drop a video or two, and then we'll talk some more about it. Maybe somebody will have a different insight since the chat room will be open. If you're in the chat, want to get in the chat room tonight, the only way you can be in the chat room is if you are a member of the channel with an icon. But Paul Castile, your sentences and everything, you are right. It's a chain reaction on steroids, because there's all kind of things that's going to happen. The shipping cost is going to increase. There's no comfort tour. There's no incentive. Everything, if you order off the island, because you're on an island, is now going to cost you more coming through customs. I mean, it's a setup for everything increasing. And I'm thinking the Harvard professor is being a little light. He was talking about a 10 to 20% increase for the citizens. I'm looking at it from a tourist perspective. I think it's going to be even more catastrophic. I think it's 20. I think it's double that, because the citizens live there. So they get to consume what was already bought in, and the price increases, if it's 10% or 18 or 5 or 3 or 1%, that's all they receive. But from a tourist aspect, stuff has to be shipped in. Then it has to be shipped over, airfared in, whatever. It has to get there. And so now it has to be set up, and now you have employees. That's a whole different dynamic that's going to cost you more money. So I think from a tourist standpoint, we could be talking somewhere like 20 to 40%, settling around 30% more for cost. For all of everything. When I go to the restaurant, everything that we know now could be 30% more. Excursions, everything. 30% is significant, especially for an island that was known for being reasonable. Like I said, I had no problem at La Bruja spending 980, 950, 800 pesos, 620, things like that. $10, $12 for meals that literally are so good, it's ridiculous. And now those same meals could be in the 20, more than 20. It could be 23, 24, because they're going to have to charge me more for the alcohol now, because they'd have to pay like a freaking, I don't know, 20 to 30% tax for each bottle. It's crazy. It's insane. It's insane. I forget. They gave it a peso number, and I can't remember. I'm going to have to pull that up, by the way, for the alcohol. But that's what's going to happen. Chain reaction incoming. All right. Coney pays this Friday, October 18th, part of third week, exactly $1.01 or something like that. Thank you very much for that, Victor Marrero. Brian P, Group C, exactly. There we go. And here's the list tonight from Victor Marrero. He throws it down. This is why we have the investor strategy session. You want dividends? You want some dividends that can do 8%, 9%, 10%, 11%? Okay. YMAG. These are dividends. YMAX. IWMY ULTYCONY This is awesome. Thank you so much, Victor Morel. I guess you'll be over in the DR. And then actually, Victor Morel, please, man, I'm hoping that you have some time to come either send me an email or come on the live stream on Monday, Wednesday, or something, because I want to know. It's been very hard to get information from people if the Dominicans are they working? I mean, what's happening with these projects? Are they actually working? Or are they on protest, or did they get shipped out? I mean, what's actually happening? Because again, there's somebody that came in on our live stream, and Kelvin, and he said a project gave him a 12-month delay, but he didn't tell us the name of the project. How cold was that? That was cold. He just came in and said, yeah, the project's delayed 12 months, and was like, wait, what? Which project? And bounced. So I don't even know if it's legit, but we'll see. That is so crazy, Eric. Yeah, man, State Farm. That's it. We lost you. Yeah, man, I know you lost me. I'm back. But yes, State Farm, they're out. All right, ULTY is $10.35 on after hours to buy on Robinhood. Nice. Brian P saying just picked up 10 more shares, ULTY on Robinhood 2 minutes ago. Oh, yeah, Robinhood doing the overnight trades. Exactly. Robinhood got so much better over the last 12 months. They were lagging way behind Webull, but now they're coming with it. So I got to give them credit. All right, we are making money in here, Brian P. That's right, $10.35. Hey, Brian P., let everybody know what's the dividend for ULTY. Because I don't have ULTY. It'd be nice to know. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, hopefully we'll talk about this some more on Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm pretty sure we have some Dominican citizens that might want to chime in. That would be great, because then we'll have that perspective, because I've never lived there. I stayed there for about 2 months, and quite frankly, I did not enjoy it as much as me visiting. I got to admit, because then you found all like these little things that you normally wouldn't, because now you're actually, I didn't stay where I normally stay. I stayed in another location that's not the ideal spot, so to speak. It's still a 5-minute walk to the beach or less and all that. But the fact of the matter is, just a few blocks over, it was a whole different vibe, because all it was a pool and a condo, and you had to walk out and then walk down. I was used to just walking out, and like within a block, there's a mini mart, grocery store, Seppin. I mean, everything's like within 100 yards. So this other place, everything's not within 100 yards. In fact, there's nothing around. ATM machines, it's nothing around within 100 yards. So I have to go 200 yards, which that seems like a long way after you're used to just walking out, being there, and then going on about your business. So, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that because of being in a different location, the inconveniences popped up more, is what I'm trying to say. So that's one of the things. So every place is not the ideal location. Just picked up 10 more shares, which is excellent. We are making money in here. $10.35 per share, and it's giving 82 cents just this month. Holy smokes, that was a $12 stock before. Dollar cost average down, I always like that. I'm going to put in 82 cents. This is funny. 82 cents divided by $10.35 just this month. This is 7.9% return just in 1 month. And here is ET that he talked about, Energy Transfer. They give a dividend of about 7% annually for each stock you own for ET. Here you can get 7% in 1 month. That is crazy. That is awesome. At the $10.35, he's getting just this month, it would be 7.9. But here's the point. The $10.35, if this thing was able to get you $8 dividend, the stock price will probably come down, but Brian P is doing what he should be doing. He should be doing a little bit of buying as the price of the stock went down, because they have to pay these distributions. It's almost like a real estate investment trust to me. That's what it's like. When they have to give out like 90% of the returns, it's something similar to that, to its dividend holders, shareholders. And so therefore, I find it very fascinating that if you had to buy it at $12.50 and it drops to $10.35, you should buy a little bit more shares. Dollar cost average down, I'm never mad. And especially if they're still giving out dividends. That means if my dollar cost average comes down, that means my dividend yield goes up. But it also happens in reverse sometimes, where the price of the stock goes up and they still give you the same dividend. So therefore, it's almost not an incentive to buy more at a higher price. I never like that. But hey, do what you got to do. So that is awesome. But yeah, if they're able to give like $8, that's freaking 80% return if they were able to keep the $10 number up there per share, $10 per share amount to buy. That would be awesome. All right. Which of these gives you the highest payout dividend per share? Hey, Paul Castillo, don't go by that. I'm just going to recommend. I don't know which one. It could be, I mean, just it could be ULTY. It could be CONY. It could be a bunch, because these yield max ETFs, they have these freaking, I don't even like talking about it. They have this, it was 101% for Coney. I mean, I can't even talk about stuff like that. Sure, the stock price is going to go down because they're distributing the cash out of it. It's not an asset-backed based type of stock. So the stock could be trading at $15 right now, but over the course of a year, it's going to drop. The stock price is going to go down. So can you live with, it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. You have to figure out what you're doing. And by doing that, Victor Morell's been, he's been quiet on this front, but I have to commend him, because he's one of the first people that was saying he leverages the dividends. And it's based on something else too, which he has that options wheel, because he does options trading. So the profits he's putting into this high risk, high reward. And then on some of the payouts, instead of reinvesting all of the dividends back into the high risk, high reward yield max ETFs, he's taking it and dropping it down into some other lower amount, 15%, 12%, 10%, because those are more stable stock prices. And over time, you'll keep getting that same rate of return. With the yield max ETFs, the stock price tends to go down because all the profits are coming out, instead of a normal corporation where they would be reinvesting, but getting new equipment, new products, new sales, doing marketing. And then that's where more money would be coming in from that effect. These guys are basing it on like stock market type of things. It's not a company. And so that's why the stock price comes down. And like I said, Brian P is doing the best thing that he's doing. And if you're making these high returns, 100% is ridiculous, right? If you're getting 8% in 1 month, it makes sense that you should take some of that money and park it into something that's a lower risk project or stock. And you say, okay, I know this one only gets me 12% annually, like AGNC, which is a real estate investment trust. But that thing about me getting 12% a month or 8% a month or 5% a month is also high risk. So I want to take some of that money and preserve it versus reinvesting it back into a stock that, yes, it might be going down. So there's something to be said about how to do it. So don't just keep all eggs in one basket, especially for high risk, high rewards. Take that high risk and leverage it. Don't just keep it in that same yield max and reinvest, because the yield max stocks, they generally will drop. All right. Like I said, there is no like a true corporation underneath it. It's based for distribution of whatever profits come in from the actual trading on the stock market, the options trading that they do. And that's why a lot of companies, Defiance, Roundhill, everybody jumped on this options trading platform because of the money you make on the options for the trades, right? There's a fee. So they're capitalizing on those fees, and those are what's getting distributed. But the stock price is only relative for what people are willing to pay. So therefore, it's not, again, backed by a company. So you have to keep those things in mind. All right. ULTY. All right. Check out YieldMax. Yep. YieldMaxETFs.com. That's what we're talking about. Everybody watching. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Make sure you let everybody know. And oh, by the way, let me say this again. Instagram. I forgot to go check. Damn it. Okay. Instagram. Go to Instagram.com/stop struggling now. Please tap on the follow button. That'd be greatly appreciated. We went up to 919. We went down to 917. I looked at it yesterday. I didn't look at it on Monday, but yesterday it went back to 917. So therefore, they did their usual. After it got to 919, all of a sudden it dropped down. I haven't actually looked in the last 5 hours, 6 hours, and it could be dropped down to 915. That's what they normally do. 914 to 919 is this like area that they keep us. So now I'm actually paying attention. Go over there. And oh, by the way, after all this talk, I have not talked about our SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum, December 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Be there. The tickets are on sale at ssnlifestyle.com. Limited number of tickets at $199. There's only 2 or 3 left at that price point. It does not include airfare, does not include hotel, obviously. I suggest you arrive on the 1st, depart on the 5th. Why do I say that? Because the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we're going to be handling biz starting at 10 a.m. in the morning. We go see lawyers on the first day. We go around to the land and check out where places lay on the second day. Third day, it's an open sort of day, but this third day is going to be bankers. We got to go talk to bankers because now with this tax situation and with the banking situation that they're trying to get better, we're going to find out what happens after you buy a property, buy a business, sell a business, loans, what the situation is, because that's what you need to know. If you're going to do business on the island, you need to understand banking and what you can do with the banks. So therefore, we need a couple of the loan agents in, and we'll have them talk with us. All right. So those are the things that we do. If you want to open a bank account, starting in 2 weeks, letters or emails will be going out to everybody. If you want to open up a bank account, you will be in touch with Johan Confidante's assistant, and then she handles all of opening bank accounts. What do I mean? You're going to need your 2024 tax return. You're going to need your passport. You're going to need a second ID. You're going to need bank statements for the last 6 months, because it depends on the bank. Some banks want 3, some banks want 6, but you might as well send her 6 just in case the bank that is available says 6. All right. And that's pretty much it. Social Security card, bring it just in case. And that's pretty much it. So this way you can get approved before you get to the island. There's no such thing as going to a bank, opening up an account in one day. That doesn't happen. In fact, when I did it by myself, I did a tester, Banco de la Horo. I tested it out without the help of our normal associate. I wanted to see what a normal person does. It took me 3-4 hours to sign all the paperwork. They want you to do a wet signature. Then after I finished that, unbelievable. I just so happened to come back the following month, which was January. I did all this stuff in December. I go back in January. I said, oh, my bank account's open. We good. No. What? I'm like, this is wild. So then while I was there, it finally got open. I put money in, but no ATM card. I didn't get an ATM card till May. And it was while I was there in May. They said they mailed it to me in February or March, and then said, oh, I said I didn't get it. They're just like, oh, then it probably came back. So, and then I was there in May, and they're like, hey, come pick up your card. I was like, what? I thought you mailed it out again to me. They're like, well, it's here. So think about that. Whereas the difference is going with our friends and Johan and everybody, his assistant, bypassed all that. So when you get there, you'll have an appointment to go into the bank, and instead of 4 hours or 5 hours, you'll be there for 1 hour to an hour and a half, because again, you have to sign all documents with the wet signature. All right. So hopefully that helps. All right. Keep up great works, Eric. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. With all you guys helping out, we keep it going. We're helping people out here. And also, again, go to ssnlifestyle.com, register now. Stay in the Los Corrales, El Cordecito area, preferably the Los Corrales side, near on the side La Brujas on. All right. Anywhere on that side, it's easier to get around. And we depart from that in that area. That's why I suggest stay there. That's the cheapest price, bang for the buck. You have restaurants, bars, casino, music. The beach is a 5-minute walk. Beach clubs also. So it's the best bang for the buck you should be paying. And if you get a 1-bedroom, Airbnb wise, well, yeah, taxes should not be implemented by then. So it should be, $50 to $60 per night, if not less. All right. So that's a great price, right? Let's see. What else do we have? Because I'm going to wrap this up here in a second. Let's go. Eric, is it too early for me to open a bank account in DR, knowing these construction projects are not near to be finished anytime soon? Yeah, if you don't want to, you don't have to. I mean, there's no recommendation for it. The only thing that it's for is if the bank, if you can make your payments from your bank is the deal. Yeah, there's might be fees depending on how you do this, but it might be worth it to you, because if instead of paying your developer directly from a USA bank, what if you can pay it from that bank, whether it's through their bank here in the US or not? Going through that bank shows money going through the bank. So now if you're going to need a loan later, then you already have some relationship with the bank and they see money coming through. That's the advantages that you would have doing it. But yeah, I mean, cruise on land's not going to be done for 2 years, right? They haven't even shown any pictures. I mean, Paul Castillo, have you received any pictures other than that one they laid down like 2 months ago, and then all of a sudden, poof, nothing? I mean, literally, they made all this excitement, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. And then the next thing you know, there's nothing. It's almost like somebody came out there and said, hey, we saw what you're doing. You can't do this. You don't have the permits for this. Slow it up. We got to talk. Because they would otherwise be advertising, you would think. Right? They would be showing up on their Instagram page. They're active. But they're acting like Larimar. Oh, yeah, we'll show you our pictures of how it's supposed to look. We ain't showing you nothing about the real area right now because we're not doing nothing. I mean, I'm tired of this nonsense. Showing pictures of what it's supposed to look like. Everybody's seen the brochure. It ain't going to help by keep posting up stuff. Oh, hey, we're working on it. Hey, have fun. Hey, this is cool, right? Come on down. Tell your friends to buy. Like, dude, stop already. All right, come on now. We need some progress going on here. And then the way it's looking, it's 6 years from now. That's Larimar. I'm just saying. All right, this is looking like I'm going to be dead before you guys even finish this damn first phase. This is what we're talking about. And oh my God, if the Haitian thing is legitimate, it's definitely going to be 6 years. It's definitely. Right. No new picks for Cruise on Land nor Larimar. Exactly, man. Exactly. So that tells me no permits. There's something going down. And again, the environmental impact report, Cruise on Land came out after Larimar. And they were gung-ho at first. January 2023. No, it was at the end of 2022. They said, we're going to have our model up by January 2023. They did not. It took them a whole year to get their model and their business center done. So that right there told me I can't expect you guys to build a 5 or 6 story building in under a year either. Let's get real. So that's when I knew that was going to be a problem. But I did not know that these guys already did not do their environmental impact report referring to Larimar. Something tells me Cruise on Land probably didn't do theirs either. That's what I'm thinking. And then we have Vastancia out here doing some okey doke BS. The guys never got back to me after I asked them, hey, I need pictures of the developer. I need to know where their offices are. They told me the offices. We were supposed to go there on December 3rd or 4th. But then when I said, send me the pictures, send me the information on developers, I need to know who these guys are because this is some BS what I'm seeing so far. I said, all I see here is you gave me an impact report that shows the front gate. Where's the plans? Where's everything for the project itself? Where's the approval for all that? You show me approval for the front gate. So I'm not feeling very comfortable about what they're doing. So they're cheap to get sales, but I'm not willing to go down this path. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not too comfortable about doing any investment in the Dominican Republic at this point in light of the tax situation. And if anybody is going to buy in the Dominican Republic before they implement this tax reform bill, you are taking a high risk because your price is a lot more than any of our prices that we bought 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago. All our prices are under 150 G's for the most part. So everybody else, you're paying way more. So I would not be taking risk to possibly get added 20% taxes. And now you're going to put yourself underwater if you have to do short-term rentals. So you might want to, if you're investing for something else, then okay, but you're going to have to pay attention. And a lot of these projects no longer have appliances included. And speaking of appliances, with the tax reform, appliances could go up. I forgot about that. They need Freon. This is crazy. This is real crazy. Speaking of what Paul Castile was saying earlier, speaking of the reaction chain, the chain reaction that's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Things are going to go up for everything. And no incentives either at the ports. So whatever they're charging at the ports, the taxation situation there's not going to be anybody that's going to get exemptions, except unless you're a Dominican Republic citizen or resident. You can get exemptions that way, but still, this is going to be crazy what's going to happen. Chain reaction is going down. Cruise on Land, Larimar, all these projects are stuck. What do I mean by stuck? Not financially, just stuck. Because if they removed 118,000 Haitians like they said, I'm assuming 20 to 30,000, maybe more, worked on real estate projects. I mean, what other business could a lot of Haitians be doing? When you really think about it, there is no other industry that's going to employ that needs 30, 40, 50 people at a day per project. There's no other company that would need that many. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if it was 118,000, I'd say 3/4 would have to be real estate employees. So that would mean over 100,000 people are out of the real estate building business. Where are they going to get replacements? You got 100,000 Dominicans on hand to do outdoor labor in sweltering heat. This is just like the situation in California back in the old days when people were all upset about immigrants there. And they're like, well, you're going to be in the Central Valley in the summertime? No, you weren't. But yet the migrants were. And that's why they had special passes, so they can work during the summer in the fields. Because Americans weren't going over there sitting in the sweltering heat for 6-7 hours a day, being there at 5 a.m. in the morning. Come on. Same scenario is going to happen here. You're not going to have enough Dominicans that's going to sign up for that assignment. And now that means everybody, not everybody, but basically it could turn into higher wages, I guess. I'm guessing, but then you're still going to run out of workers. So so then it doesn't even make any sense. So why am I going to pay higher wages when we can't even get the job completed in the first place? Or it's going to take us an extra 3-4 years to do it, and now I'm going to pay you higher wages. I mean, there's no incentive at this point. I'm not going to have Comfortour. I'm not going to get any incentive as a developer for bringing up cranes or anything else onto the island. Any equipment, it's now going to cost me a normal excise tax fee, customs fees. It's all going to be crazy now. I just don't see how this works out. It's going to be bad. So, but what the funnier part is, all the people that got in 2016 or 17 or 18 or 19 or 20 or 21 or 22 with borderline 23 at the low prices ultimately are going to win, because whether it's 3 years from now or 5 or 10, there will be a change of some sort of the system, taxation wise. And the prices are going to rise for tourists automatically now. It's going to be like St. Martin now. You know, it's going to be like Hawaii now. You know, everything's like the norm, $450 a night or something. And you're going to be very happy at the norm, especially if you bought it 100, 200,000 or less. You're going to like the norm, because you're going to be like, wait, I could charge people $350 a night, and I only bought my 2-bedroom penthouse unit for $150, $130. And you're like, but a 2-bedroom penthouse is charging, I can charge $500. You're going to be, now your occupancy rate won't need to be 50% or higher. You can win with a freaking 30% occupancy rate if you can charge people 3 times 3%, 0.3% of your purchase price. You buy this for $150 and I can charge $500 or $495, $475 a night. Poof. I'll take 100 nights at $475 per night, all day, every day. 47,000. Hell yeah. 47,000 annually, split in half. That's 24,000, let's say. And I bought for 120, 150. I'm over 10%. I'll take it. I'm over 15%. I'm taking that to the bank. I'm damn near at 17% if I got my numbers in my head right. I'll take that every year, and we're rising after that. Every year prices are going to go up, or a little bit. So that means I'm sitting pretty. Everybody who bought at that 350, 400,000 level, you ain't going to be sitting pretty. So that's the advantages ultimately. But how long will it take? I don't know. Tamara Larry, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with that icon next to your name. I'm humbly appreciating that, and very nice to see you once again. I would like to open a bank account too. Tamara Larry, thank you so much for that. Unfortunately, members that are going to the SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum, they're the ones that we're going to help out with doing that. Although I help out everybody as well. So if you want to get information on how to do it, I will get in touch with Johan, make sure his assistant still will do it for us. And if not him, then I'll have Glennie do it. But I'll just send me an email at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. Support@stopstrugglingnow.com. If you're going to be on the island, or let me know. Basically, you need to do it like a couple of weeks in advance. You can't just do it like this week or send it to them today and it'll be ready tomorrow. No, it takes way too long now. They might take 2 weeks, might take a week, might take 2 weeks to get you approved. But send me an email at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. All right. And then we'll go from there. Or it'd be either way, we'll help you out. All right. So that's the perks of being part of the SSN Nation. All right. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Also, make sure you see the merch. You can go to stopstrugglingnow.com and get some merch there as well. There's only a limited number of pieces. I have to go through some inventory to get the Nobody's Coming to Save You shirts. I have more than what's on the website. I just got to check the inventory. I have some other emerging millionaires. We have a bunch of stuff. So either in more CEOs, we have a bunch of stuff. I got to check the inventory. Once I have the inventory, then I can put it up on the site for all the XLs, the XXLs, the XXXLs, the smalls, the mediums, the larges, and we'll have some more gear. The hats, we always have the hats. You can check those out, stopstrugglingnow.com. So we'll start ramping this back up. And thank you, everybody, for being here this evening. I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. I realized on Monday or Friday after I got off, I realized I didn't give you guys a story on Friday night. Remember, we got story nights every Friday night, and you never know what the story is going to be. I probably gave a story of somewhat, but it wasn't designed. But nonetheless, I did not give a story on Friday night, but remind me this Friday night. I'm sure something will come up that triggers a story. So either way, we'll make it happen. I won't forget this Friday night, and I might give you guys 2 stories this time. I was talking to some of my old friends about some things, and some things came up that I thought was very, very interesting. And I'll tell you some stories because a friend of mine called up. We had at our SSN Lifestyle Music Festival, Grammy Award winner Club Nouveau came and did their thing on the island. And my friend's in LA from Chi-Town, and he goes, "Hey, man, you in Cali?" I'm like, "Why?" He's like, Club Nouveau's coming to the Rose Bowl for the Taste of Los Angeles. They're playing on this Saturday. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That is too funny. But I said, no, I'm not in Cali, man. And if I was, I still wouldn't be coming down the Rose Bowl in Pasadena to the Taste of LA, although Taste of LA might have been pretty cool. But nonetheless, I won't be going down there. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. Tamara, Larry, thank you so much for being here and showing up. And if you want to open a bank account, let me know. Support at stopstrugglingnow.com. By the way, I forgot the other thing, our WhatsApp group. Come there. We have a little activity, not that much, but I didn't want to use it to post up based on what we do on YouTube, but I might start posting up some things that we do on YouTube. All right. So people will know, because we don't have that much activity. We just have some people like Unique showed up. She dropped some information on a hotel that somebody's selling. So again, there's a business aspect to this. So she gave the information. Anybody wanted to contact her, they can, which is fine. And then, of course, we have, deals for real estate and rentals drop. Different things are dropped in the group. And there's discussions as well, but they're not that many because most people it's not, even though it's, SSN Nation and Lifestyle, but there's not really a lot to do because a lot of people already have their pre-construction properties and they're just making their monthly payments. There's not really a lot to discuss because nobody's like buying another project. And that is my last thing. I cannot say enough. I would not be buying into any project right now. You cannot, if you've already bought a project, yes, but if you're thinking about buying on the island of the Dominican Republic, I would really hesitate unless you know for a fact this thing's going to cost you under $150,000. It has to, or it could be under 250, but I'm a little hesitant because at 18%, if they decide to do something crazy, and let's say they don't say 18%, but they come with some crazy number like 25% tax for short-term rentals, that's what I'm afraid of. Without knowing that number, you have to buy at a very low price in a great location. That's the only risk factor I would take. There's no way I'm going to go 200, 250, 300,000 and think I'll just guess that they're going to do 3%. I would not take that bet nor guess. You should have to wait. By waiting, I understand payment will go up per month because there'll be less months. I would argue if you're going to buy, then you're going to have contract concessions due to the Haitians being deported, and you sign up for a 30-month payment plan. There's no way they can guarantee 30-month delivery. So I would have two problems. That'd be my second one. And I would make sure, I'm sorry, I need like a 48-month deal. And I'll sign something that says if you deliver before the 48 months, then all is due and payable, whatever's left over within that 60 to 90 days sale by date for me. But I'm not signing nothing that says less than 4 years at this point. That's all I'm going to say about that. Third thing that's important, you have a problem. Everybody who does not have a no price increase clause has a problem. You don't know how much the material cost would be, how much the taxes on that material cost is going to be. You have no idea. How are you going to enter into a contract that says for the first 3% or 3.5%, we cover the cost, but anything above that, you cover the cost annually? And now you find out due to this tax burden that all of a sudden they say 10% tax. Okay, for the materials. That's not the actual cost to the developer. That 10% tax is between when the developer goes out there and buys it, but the developer still has employees, still has transportation costs, still has a bunch of stuff that they got to deal with. So therefore, that could be a 15% increase in price for that 1 year. Are you going to be ready for that? Or what if it's 20% or 30%? That's the problem. It's open-ended, so you don't know what it is. They might invoke the price gouging situation. You don't know. That's why I'm very cautious of buying a property, because of the third lever, the one that's an unknown. And now you think you bought something for $170,000. Next thing you know, they go, it's 30% more. And the next thing you know, you're like, wait, this is not 170, it's 215, 210, 225. That's what I'm worried about, especially if you have a 2-year contract, because remember, it's every annually they go by the inflation numbers. So you could have a 10% 1 year, 10% the next year, the 10% the third year. You could have a 30, 40% increase. So that's what I'm saying. It's sketchy, scary, and I can't advise anybody buying anything unless you're getting one hell of a deal, because your price increase will go up. There's only 2 companies that has no price increase. Vastancia changed up their stuff after I made the video. So, that's why another reason I just made a video about it, and all of a sudden you raise your prices like $10,000 per unit. That seems kind of sketchy. So I'm not down with you at this point. Gave 7 days, basically 7 days, and then the price went up. So those $50,000 condos are now $63,000, $61,000, which is still a cheap price, but it's out in the middle of, it's past Larimar. And now with the building, what's going to happen with building, I believe, is going to start deteriorating if this tax reform bill happens. But with all of these people saying it's bad, everybody, I haven't found hardly anybody other than the people that work for the government. He's the only person that said it's good. Everybody else in all different aspects of businesses said, hell no, this is not cool. So I think there has to be compromise somewhere, but even that compromise is not good enough, because there's taxes coming. That's the only way they can get in with the IMF. They have no way around it. Their hands are tied. If they don't do this taxation situation, then that means those interest rates that you have in the Dominican Republic will never come down, because the IMF will never give you loans at 2.5%. They won't be giving your banks loans at low rates. They're going to make sure it's at 6, 7, 8%. That's why they have a problem. USA is not jumping in the bandwagon because, again, you don't meet the banking regulations for the world. You're not there yet. So now they need money to get that system into place, which they should have been working on that 10 years ago. I mean, it's like weird when you wait. It doesn't help you to wait, especially for infrastructure such as real estate infrastructure. Cost you more money if you wait, just like the Buffalo Bills Stadium. It was going to cost $1.4 billion 2 years ago. Now that they're starting, it's going to cost 1.7. See, there's no way around it. That's what happens. Same thing's going to happen here. You were going to build something 2 years from now. Yeah, but if it's going to take you 4 years, the building cost is going to strip your profits away. Same thing's happening to developers here. So there's going to be some collapse in some of these projects based on this Haitian thing. You guys don't understand. There's a chain reaction that's happening right now if they legitimately took out 180,000 Haitians over the last 2 weeks. That legitimately will do damage in the real estate game. That causes delays, which now means it's going to cost more money, and some of these projects aren't going to be able to get done. All right, that wraps it up. Thank you so much, everybody. And once again, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and that's exactly why we have to have these discussions. On Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be talking more about this tax as I get in line with the actual alcohol tax number, because they did have that number out there already as well. I just have to look for it amongst a plethora of information. I need to pull the bill itself if I can get a hold of it and read it and have it. So then I can go through each piece of it step by step. So hopefully I can get that in my hands. Then I can give you guys a even better breakdown and a guesstimate of what's going to happen down the line. But don't be guessing, because with an unknown factor such as taxation, you can't make moves if you don't know if taxation is going to be 2, 3, 4%, or if it's going to be 20%. How are you supposed to make a move? You shouldn't. Stay still. Be strong. Everything will be fine. And then there's always places to invest. Dubai's looking good right now. Even though I don't like it. In the desert. I mean, come on. But anyhow, I'm just playing with you about Dubai. I don't recommend doing that. Dubai's halfway around the world. So if you plan to buy something over there, don't be talking to me about short-term rentals, because you can't even get there in like a few hours. So that's halfway around the world. That might take you more than 24 hours to get to from the United States, depending on where you are. So again, it's not even a vacation-worthy destination for me. A lot of people it is, but for me, I'm like, there's nothing there that's not somewhere else that's not damn near 2 days away by flights, or even 12 hours away. I can get to a bunch of nice, cool stuff in 6 hours or less from the United States. But anyhow, that's my own thought process. Victor Morello's doing the Mr. Worldwide tour with the wife, family. So that ought to be awesome. Did we ever get the name of the channel set yet? You're almost starting the Mr. Worldwide tour in a few days. So let us know. We got to know that so we can go over there and subscribe and show some love. You know how we do it. We show some love for everybody here in the SSN Nation. Go to your beachfrontjava.com. Make sure it's coffee and tea time. It's getting cold out here. Beachfrontjava.com. Use promo code SSN Lifestyle, all caps. And what does that get you? Discount for life after your first purchase. You have Keurig, you're in. You like fine ground, which is espresso, you're in. You want drip ground, she's got it. Premium blend coffee, 20 different blends of coffee, and premium tea, and the coffee beans are from Africa, Central America, South America, Indonesia, the best on the planet, most would say. So therefore, go show some love. It's our own Professor Auntie Val and family, so make sure you go to beachfrontjava.com. That would be greatly appreciated. And with all that said, Stay safe no matter where you are. It seems to be, no matter where you are in the world, there is stress, duress, unrest. So make sure you stay safe and try to keep a level head under all circumstances, because a lot of people out here are going to do crazy things. So keep that in mind and make sure you keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.